cause I never been defeated. Keep your hands up, get them in the sky for the homies that ain't making it, my folks locked down. I never went nowhere. What they saying, loot is back. Blame it on that contour. The hood call it Ludiac. And I'm on this foolish track, so I spit my foolish flow. My hands go up and down, like urban, tight like a million. Last time on a college remix, now I'm on the arrest. Never count me out. Y'all better count me in. Got 20 bank accounts. Accountants count me in. Make millions every year. The South's champion. Cause all I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody's hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there. Swerving in my low, head on the swivel, you know serving me's a no-no. Clean as a whistle as I pull out in my Rolls Royce. Yellow bone passenger, they see it, they say, oh boy. Tell Kelly back it up. Down for armed trafficking, don't make me pull that fofo. Ask you what you laughing at, represent that mud life. Dirty money, bitch, your mud right. We come together holding hands and holler mud life. We all strapping all black, it's like Bud Light. You riding or what? Cause we riding tonight. Now you riding with me cause you wasn't riding. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody's hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Oh, water getting boiled. Snoopy in the hookie. System overload. I've been running this rap game since I was 20 years old. I hung with the worst of them. Bust till I burst them up. Floss them up, toss them up. Harder way, close them up. Pardon me, I'm bossing up. Pressure up, bless you, bro. Don't mess with us. We like the youth in the 80s. Back to back, set a track. Hit the lick, get it back. Hit the trick, jump the track back. Time and time again, Al Davis said it best. Just win, baby, win.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody's hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
All right, all right, all right. How is everybody doing tonight? Feel free to unmute.
We're good over here in DC.
Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, I got no Jamie, Paul, what's up, everybody? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna turn the volume down over here. Okay, testing, testing. All right. So that was my little get crunk music. As I said, my little prayer for tonight, you know, because the Lord knows my heart. Amen. Hallelujah. All right. So let's unmute. Some of you are maybe new to my format here. So it's a little today will be a little more strict, but I like open dialogue. We'll try to keep the dialogue a little condensed just because I have two ladies who are going to be joining me. So we want to be respectful of the time and then give you all some Q&A at the end. I do have two moderators that'll be in the chat. That's going to be my Spelman sisters, Miss Don Shay and Jamie. So any questions you have, any feedback, you can put it in there. And for those of you who don't know who I am, you may have seen this from Instagram or Facebook ad. I'm Ebony Carzo, owner of Virginia Marie Cake Boutique. here in Atlanta, Georgia. And my biggest passion is anything that has to do with business. And so, what landed me here today is having such a hard year last year. Hold on one second. All right, I'm going to cut this other Zoom off. Was having such a hard year last year. If you followed me in my stories on Instagram and Facebook, I was very transparent about how the economy impacted my company, inflation, all of the things. So a lot of us came off of what I call a faux believe year in 2022. You know, the market was saturated with money and we're all out here balling. We getting money, we spending money, doing all the things. And then 2023 happened. And then we're like, I was calling this back in January that things were going to slow down and things were different. I just felt a shift that was happening. And it was just on a spiral, you know. And in speaking to many of you in the DMs, because I'm very active there, speaking to y'all in the real world, a lot of people face the same challenges. And so last year was a lot of reflection for me. I've been in business full time for 10 years. I quit my corporate job back in 2013, but I've been doing this for 15 years. So I will say last year was the hardest year I've ever had. However, I like to put a spin on things and figure out how can I win and how can I do better, right? I don't like to blame outside sources on the negative impact of my company or anything in my life because I believe that God gave me the talent and the skills to pull myself up and do whatever needs to be done. And if you're in the baking space, I know we have entrepreneurs from all over the country in different fields, but I will say in the baking space, there was a point where every day that I logged into Instagram, another bakery was closing. And it's super sad because, you know, these are people's dreams. People quit their jobs to open up their bakeries, things like that. And because the economy hit so bad, they just gave up. And there's no judgment, but I'm not here to give up. And I don't think you all want to give up either because you wouldn't be here today. So I sat down with a couple of my girls last week and we kind of built out a marketing plan. I want to take control of my business and I want to teach you all the things that have worked for me over the years. We went and pulled my numbers from 5 or 6 years ago, and my sales increase year over year will be anywhere from 400% to 60%. And that's crazy in business because most projections start 10%, 15% to be conservative. And so what I realize is that I have everything in me to be successful, but I have to get back to the basics. I have to get disciplined. I can't sit on the side and say, you know, just because I did all this work years ago, the business is just going to come in. You have to actively be working in your business. So with that said, that's who I am. I want to go ahead and open up the floor. We're not going to do introductions, but I want you all to kind of tell me what were some of your challenges last year or what are some of your challenges overall in business?
Whew.
Who's that?
Oh, did you hear me say that?
Yes. So talk to me.
Oh, wow. Dag. Okay, this is Tamara.
That's real life though.
I think mine is just being consistent and getting out and meeting other people and sharing about my business and then just being like a salesperson. That's not my normal knack on how to sell.
That makes sense. And so how have you grown your business so far?
Google.
Okay. Good.
Google has been very good to me. So that's one of the ways. And then asking for help. That's been another one.
Awesome. All right. Who else? Thank you for sharing.
Myself back.
I'll go next. Hey.
Hi.
I am in my kitchen, multitasking, making dinner. So I'm leaving my camera off, so I'm not all over the place. But I would say I had two big struggles this year. One was social media management, just because you know me, Ebony, I am one of those people who does all the things in baking, and sometimes I do a little too much, but when I get burnt out, social media is always the first thing to go for me.
Yeah.
But it is very important in our industry because, you know, what we do as far as baking, for all of those who are bakers, you know, people want to see the product and they want to see what you're doing. And that's how you make sales and continue to book business. Um, and then I would say the other part is, you know, like I said, being the type of person that does all the things, kind of narrowing it down to a niche. And that is something I continue to struggle with because even in 2023, it was extremely busy. My first full year as a full-time entrepreneur,
Whoop,
even though
whoop.
I've been baking,
Let's clap it up for it.
I've been baking for the last 13, 14 years. This is my first full year, you know, full fiscal year of baking full time. But even in 2023, like I didn't limit myself as to what I would and wouldn't do. And then it even grew even more with 3D printing. So I feel like there's just so many different outlets, and you know, I'm the ultimate optimist and I want to do it all, but I realistically need to scale down and focus on just being really good at a few things versus all the things.
That makes sense. Awesome. And anybody else? One more person. One of your challenges in your business.
Hi, it's me, Allison. Um, I was okay, so really quickly, I started off just making cookie dough, and everything was more like a hobby for me back in 2015. It wasn't until 2019 where I was really starting to put in effort to, I'm like, okay, this can really be a business. Um, and then 2021, 22, I received like more clients, yet I did notice for me, I don't know if it's because my marketing just sucked, that pre-sales wasn't a thing that my clients were even gravitating to. I was on social media even this past year, numbers seem to go down a bit, yet pre-sale still was something I feel like God was like, okay, don't you worry about that. Let's just work on, just building more consistent clients. And I've been in the mindset of, okay, like, well, I need to get into farmers markets. I need to do more pop-ups. I need to just be in front of every single person. And I'm struggling with getting into pop-ups, where to go, how, or not pop-ups, farmers markets, whether or not I should even do pop-ups or business expos, I really like to call them. And then just trying to hear like really what is too much for me in a sense. I do homeschool our 4-year-old daughter. I'm trying to grow a YouTube. Yet
God bless you.
the
All the
baking,
things.
right, but the baking is where I'm at. I was even speaking with a friend last night because I've gone back and forth like, well, maybe I should just dissolve it. It wasn't until August of 2022 that I officially made it an LLC. And I was like, okay, there's some great tax benefits here and everything, but I don't want to just have this business open to be spending money just for that, you know?
Mhm.
So that's where I'm at. Hello, everyone.
Well, thank you for sharing, and I can totally relate to all of the above. So, the great news is, everybody, you all are here in a great space. I'm super excited about tonight. I've had chats with some of my Spelman sisters and friends about tonight. We're all super excited. The more that I started working on my piece, it was just like, this is going to be so dope. The biggest thing, I think there's two things that keep people from reaching their full capacity of success in their business. Number one is discipline, right? And someone mentioned they lack consistency. I 100% agree and understand with that philosophy. So though, when you look at the really successful people, when you look at multimillionaires and billionaires, it may seem like they have a lot going on, but they are super disciplined. They're consistent. You may even see people on social media where you think I have better skills no shade, but I have better skills than that person. But how is it that they're able to have all these followers and get all this money, but I'm still over here with the same, 2,000 followers, right? And so when you really sit and think about it, they're consistent, they show up. And I believe that the money will follow when you show up. The second thing is lack of planning. Many of us are just out here flailing around, throwing spaghetti at the wall, just hoping, something sticks. And or you are like me and you wake up with a great idea and then you implement it tomorrow and wonder why it didn't work because you lack planning, right? So for instance, typically what I've done in the last few years since I've gotten so complacent in my business is like, okay, we know Valentine's is coming up. It's January. So instead of going ahead and getting everything ready for Valentine's, I wait until the week before and say, oh, I think it'd be great to run this sale. And then I just post, which we know, or maybe you don't, that social media is not really a marketing platform. That is a platform for you to nurture your audience. Okay. And so you got to do some real grassroots effort to get in front of as many people as possible. Many of you are sitting in your homes and you're wondering, like, where are the customers? You're depending on Google to do all the work, but you're not getting out there to be seen. One of the highlights of my company was when I sat on the chamber on the board of directors for the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce. I did that for 5 years as a youngest sitting member. And I was exposed to so many different people, so many amazing business people, and so many opportunities were put in my lap just by showing up. And so what we're going to focus on tonight is really thinking outside of the box. We're going to create a marketing plan. I've already sent it out to your email. So if you haven't received it, check your email, check your spam. I sent you a little guide that we're going to go through tonight. And the way that this is going to flow, I'm going to kind of walk you through the beginning of how I strategize for the year. And then we're going to pass the ball over to Amber. I'm going to let her introduce herself. And then Amber is going to talk about her roadmap. She is a marketing genius. Her background is in marketing. And so she's going to kind of talk you through how she sets up like a roadmap for the year. So everything that we show you tonight, you're going to be able to take back, and feel free to work along with us and take notes so that you can go back and really dig in and put pedal to the metal and put this action in place. So the goal is when we finish today, you're going to have like a concrete goal for the year. We're going to be thinking out in advance. So once we're done, it's nothing but implementation, and it's January 9th. Okay. That's why I'm so excited. Like, I have not in at least 5 to 6 years actually thought through what my business was going to do for the whole entire year. Okay. So if you can, and I'm going to pull it up here, I typically don't do presentations from a presentation or PowerPoint or anything, but I'm going to just go ahead and bring the guide up so that it will be easier for you all to follow along. And then also after Amber, I'll come back. I'm going to walk you through the marketing strategies that you can implement into her plan. And then we're going to have Takia Lamb come up, and she's going to talk to you all about social media. Because when I tell y'all that girl got my life together with social media, even though I have dropped the ball, but it's no reason but laziness really why I dropped the ball, because we planned out months in advance for content. So she's going to wrap it up with the social media. So by the time you all leave, you all will have your quarterly marketing strategies built out, or at least the first two, and your mind will start going on other ideas that you can. Again, feel free to chat it up. If something sounds good, give me an amen. If you have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat. And then we will reserve some time at the end for a Q&A. All right, so let's go. Yes.
Before you get started, something just popped when everybody was saying some of the struggles from last year. And I think I would encourage everybody to think about the difference between being a maker versus a CEO. You could be the best baker, but if you don't have that business stuff locked down, you're going to struggle. And one of the things that has helped me do that is to really lock down on how much an hour of my time is worth. That then helps me understand that I shouldn't be over here trying to figure out TikTok. I need to hire somebody off Fiverr for about $30 and get back out to building my pipeline. And so that has nothing to do with social media, but it is one of the things I've struggled with. And I just kind of wanted to put that out there before you got started.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Jamie. And Jamie brings up a great point. And this, what we're doing is CEO thinking. So I'm glad Jamie brought that up, because a lot of times we have photographers in here, we have treat makers in here, cake designers. Who else do we have in our room? I got a couple of photographers in here. Marketers, digital marketers, virtual assistants. So this room, it has a variety of people in here. And so a lot of times we get so bogged down in what we do because that's what we're passionate about. And a lot of us don't have the business training. And like I said, this is my passion. This year, I don't know if you all have created your word for the year, but I have two, and that's impact and community. And so what we're doing tonight, I want to be impactful on you all and start building community to help you all win and get to the next level. And in doing that, that comes with elevating your thinking from just being reactionary and thinking like an employee to honestly thinking like a CEO. Have you actually sat down to think like, okay, the CEO of McDonald's or Target or any major corporation, what is it that they think about when they run the businesses? Because they're not thinking on the same level as an employee, right? So it starts here. First, they want to know their numbers. And a lot of us don't look at our numbers. So that's what we're going to get into today. I'm going to kind of show you what I use. I'm not going to get into it. Nothing big, but just so you can see where I pull my numbers from. So this here is the guide. So again, check your email, check your spam if you don't have that. Right now, you can also print it and write in it. All right, so this is one of my favorite quotes by Colin Powell. There's no secrets to success. I wholeheartedly believe in that. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. And I live by this quote because, especially after last year, it just felt like everything that I set up, everything that I touched just kept failing. And the reality is when you step back, you realize there's a lesson in that failure. And that's the beautiful thing about failing. Failing is just learning. Like, you cannot be successful. You cannot get to the top by always winning. And then when you come back and bring other people up with you, like, how can you teach people things if you haven't gone through the fire? And so one of the mind shifts that I had at the end of last year was really about, okay, what do I need to do and who do I need to become to take my business to the next level? So one of the things that I got slacked on was looking at my numbers. When I worked in corporate America, we got paid off the bottom line, which means the revenue that we generated for that month is what I got a percentage of that for my paycheck. And so if we were losing money, if we didn't bring in enough money, I didn't do enough sales calls, that was reflected on my paycheck. So you can imagine I was constantly looking at my numbers to see how I was going to get paid. And so this year I'm getting back to that. So we have here a monthly sales projection. And just imagine running a race without knowing where the finish line is, right? So you're going to go run a race, but are you going to look to see, okay, how far do I have to go so that you know where the finish line is? Or are you going to just keep on running until you run out of gas? So that's what it's like in business without clear goals. So your goals act like a map guiding your journey towards success, but it's not enough to just set the goals. You need to check your progress regularly. Like marking off milestones on your map, this simple practice of monthly tracking turns goals into real achievements. So here we have, these are my real numbers from two of my business segments. This is my wedding cake sales and custom cake sales. This is not anything else that I sell, like cupcakes, small cakes, classes, studio rentals. It's just those two mediums. And this is from last year, real numbers. When I pull these numbers and compare them to last year, so if you see LY last year, that's what it means. So some of these diagrams will just have LY on it. I was down 42%. I ended 2023 down 42% from 22. All right. So then I went in and I broke down based on the quarters. So you want to go and pull, if you use QuickBooks, I actually have everything going into QuickBooks, but I use HoneyBooks for my everyday accounting. And so their reporting is pretty basic, but I still like it because it's super clean. And so I'm able to see monthly, kind of a high view, what we average for wedding cakes and custom cakes. And then it kind of breaks down per month. And then what I did was went over into QuickBooks and I pulled a profit and loss statement, which is going to take me too long to log in here. And that's how I got my quarterly numbers. So I was able to see number of customers for Q1 was 10. So that's between wedding and custom. The average sale for each client was $323. And the total sales for Q1, I really feel like this number's off, but it can't be, $3,231. Okay. Okay, yes, because this is just for those two. All right, so Q2, you see it increase a little bit. So we had 20 clients that bought either a wedding cake or custom cake, 584 average sale, and 11,689. So we keep going over here. So you see it kind of goes up a little bit, and then Q4 it dips. And then between those two revenue streams, there were a total of 81 orders. Average sale was 476 for a total of 40,193. All right. So whatever accounting system you use, you're going to plug those numbers in there. Are there any questions so far? Okay, moving along. So then you're going to break it down by month. So I need to know, going into this year, what did I do in January of last year? So January of last year, I did about $3,600, and I like to do an increase of 20%. However, industry standard is 10% to 15%. So whatever you want to add in there for your increase of your goal, that's what you're going to put in. And so you're going to print this off and put it up in your office so that when you end January, you can go in and put your actual, and then you'll put a plus or minus difference for your variance. All right, so this is kind of where I was, 3,600, February is 5,700, March 4,400, April 43,14. So you would just go in here and fill all that out and then put your goals in. So when we get into the marketing part, this is where these numbers are going to make more sense, because our marketing efforts are to get us to this goal number. Then we're going to do a revenue stream analysis. All right. So this analysis, we're looking at LY last year. And these numbers are going to look funky again because there's other numbers that pull into here that are not necessarily all there. But so we're going to say 44,000 for the year between the wedding cakes and custom. So we have 26 units, 98 units. I want you to list out all of your revenue streams. So I have about 9 revenue streams outside of wedding cakes. It is super important that we are not just dependent on our main revenue. Your main revenue stream is that thing that you went into business for. So if you're doing custom cakes, if you went into business to do cupcakes, if you're a photographer and let's say you're just a lifestyle photographer, so you only focus on bringing in lifestyle shoots. If you are an event planner and you like to do baby showers, so you only focus on doing baby showers, I want you to expand your focus. So we have Paul in the room, and I know Paul has, is it called ClickBox? I can't see you, but I think it's ClickBox or something like that. He has a photo booth.
Yeah, ClickBox.
Okay, yes. So that's another revenue stream for his company. He's not just depending on photography for his business. I have my wedding cake masterclass that I do, cake and cocktails that I do with corporations. tasting boxes, dessert cake, studio rental, classes, and ebooks. So the reason why my business still did well last year, right? Even though it was a negative 42%, I still generated over 50,000 in revenue because I had other revenue streams. So money was constantly coming in from other areas. All right, so we are going to stop here. Are there any questions before we move forward? Check the chat.
I have a quick question on that revenue stream analysis.
Mhm.
What numbers did you use for the units?
That's going to be your actual number of orders that you did per person.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
And you can, if you want to break that down even more. So I have another spreadsheet. So if one order had custom cakes and then cupcakes and then treats, those will be line item out on there as well. All right. So we're going to pass it over to Amber. Again, y'all know I don't always have my stuff together. So no, I did not get a bio on her or none of that stuff. I'm gonna let her brag on her own self. Okay. All right, Amber, you're up.
All right, can y'all hear me for one?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm on 2 monitors, y'all. I got my new monitor today, so we're gonna see if it works.
Hey.
Also, let me connect my screens. And all right, can y'all see the thing that says 5 missed marketing steps? Beautiful. All right, now I gotta make sure I can see y'all. To which I don't know what's happening to it. All right, so like she said, I'm Amber, but I do go by Amber the Activator. I'm an event and marketing strategist. I have been in the game over 15 years, working both corporate and small business. Yes, where did y'all go? I can't see y'all. Oh well. Yeah, so both corporate and small business, and one of my favorite things to do is teach you all the real game about marketing. So I am here to help you, not be your friend. So I'm going to kind of tell you all some things that you're probably missing within the business, that just what you all said, developing an actual plan, developing a strategic plan, and actually having the execution steps in order for you to succeed, right? So Ebony just kind of broke down what it's like looking at it from a revenue planning perspective. I want to give you all from the marketing perspective. So number one, y'all probably are not documenting your business goals, period. Like, can anybody truly tell me what their business goals is for 2024? All right. Number two, actually conduct marketing audit and research. Like within your industry, who is doing what and why? Are they succeeding or are they not succeeding? It's very important, at least, like I would say minimum twice a year, to actually look at your peers or competition. I know some people don't like the word competition. I like to use peers, right? Look at what they're doing and kind of, see what is working, what is not. Number three, actually defining your buyer persona. So not necessarily the people that you want to attract, but who is actually buying. Normally, those are 2 completely different audiences, right? A lot of the times we market our business from a passionate person versus a person that actually has the budget to buy from us. So I want y'all to keep that in mind for your marketing in 2024. And also, y'all, let me know if I'm speaking fast. I am from Memphis, so I'll be speaking fast. Number 4, developing your positioning and messaging. Again, going back to your buyer persona, you should know the stage that your customer is in order to speak to them directly, right? So if you are selling cakes, you shouldn't just necessarily go to the bride and say initially, like, not the bride. If they haven't got proposed to, why are you talking to them? And necessarily, you kind of want to know the stage they are in and just kind of get them, get top of mind. And then number 5, which is what we're talking about today, is setting the company and marketing goals. So going back to what Ebony just showed you all, the revenue perspective, what do you need to do in order to actually get that? All right, so can y'all see step 1, create your marketing funnel? All right, I can only see a few people, so I see a few head nods. So this particular funnel, I actually will have available at the end of this. And this is going to help you get a full snapshot of what your business should be doing. So this is telling a story. I'm a huge storyteller. And within marketing, you want to tell a story, right? So the goal of each piece of content is to, for example, Example, edutain, meaning educate and entertain. I want to edutain through these touch points: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, word of mouth. You'll be able to, input in here, what are your touch points? Your website, is it referrals? Is it, partnerships? Whatever your touch points are that lead somebody to a business, it should be placed there in this template, right? Then now, after the goal of each piece of content is you edutain, I want to edutain through these touch points. After I edutain, I want to engage with my audience through what? An email, a sales call, an inquiry call, a DM, a private experience. Think about your particular business and how you're actually engaging with them. This is one of the biggest pieces people miss, because most people are instantly thinking, I need to just go from Instagram, to a inquiry call, where you might have to be creative depending on what you're selling and how you are selling it. You might have multiple ways you need to engage with them, right? And then after I engage, I want to offer them what? Right? So if it's a bride, I want to offer a wedding cake. If it's a friend, I may offer them some, I don't know, some cupcakes to give during the Valentine's Day. I'm making things up, you all. But whatever that might be, really outline, what are you offering, who, what, and when. All right. And then at the end also too, if your business does, how can you upsell them, right? So if I've already offered them some of the main, right, what does it look like for you to, on their birthday, send them, hey, get your birthday cake, right? Or, if you are doing digital marketing, hey, we worked together before doing your digital marketing plan. Now, what does it look like for us to do your marketing strategy or something? So think about how you can actually upsell from what you've already offered them. And I wish I can see the chat. Oh, can I see? I think I see chat on this side. Okay, I'm gonna move it over here, y'all. Roll with me here. All right. So next is, okay, there we go. All right, next is what the marketing roadmap. So once we've created that very high level funnel of you understanding how you want to interact with them, how you want to engage with them, and what you want to offer with them, this is what you all need. Okay, so taking that revenue stream plan that you did, and then now marrying it to, what does that look like from a marketing standpoint? Here you will see a marketing roadmap. So for example, I have all 4 quarters and even into 2025. And what I've outlined is I want to engage with my audience through digital downloads, webinar series, virtual events, in-person events, and then I have a product focus of what I'm going to upsell them on. What is this? The left side is where you will put how you want to engage with them. So for instance, I want to engage with them from a digital download perspective. I'm going to have that in my link in bio. I'm going to have that in my LinkedIn. I'm going to have that on my website so that I can get their name and email, and I can put them into my list. And then I can now start nurturing my email list to get the sale. Does that flow make sense? And so what you would then do under your quarters is, this is where you can honestly have a brain dump. What do you want to do for your company? So if you are a cake designer and you're saying, all right, I want to do something for Valentine's Day, Women's Appreciation Day, I'm going to think about what do I want to do? So let's just say for Women's Appreciation Month, is that a month? I should know this. I don't. But let's just say for Women's Appreciation Month or Day, you want to offer, women in business to, something like certain cupcakes or something. It may have a design on it or something. I'm making it up, right? You, at this point, what comes to this marketing roadmap, put it, here, and say, Takia is going to show you all the actual deeper plan, but you'll put it here, and it may say, I want to have like a women appreciation campaign, right? And then you may also go into 4th quarter, be like, all right, I want to make sure that people know about my services for, holiday parties, for corporate parties, for, client appreciation parties. This is where you will outline all of those things beforehand. Not like what Ebony said a week before, right? We don't want to do a week before. We want to do potentially months in advance. What does our marketing strategy, our marketing efforts look like, and where? And on this particular template, you are able to literally like how I have up here, create a legend of what's going to be digital products, webinars, launches, etc., courses. You're actually be able to have like a clickable link that can actually go to that marketing plan, to which Takia is going to show you later. Has anybody ever done a marketing roadmap? Like, I'm curious. Okay.
Never.
All right. So
Hey,
I'm
Amber,
huh?
real quick, can
Go
you
ahead.
give them the example of uh the wedding cake tour that we came up with?
Okay. I you want to say, I thought about that. All right.
Yeah.
So Ebony and I are coming up with her wedding cake tour. And so one of the biggest things about this tour is that it's not necessarily her posting on social media. It's going to be her showing up at their doorstep, right? So she has to identify from a marketing perspective who, because she does luxury cakes, what venues or what bridal stores are, selling luxury dresses. We're going to go there. We're going to pitch to them for her to be able to actually set up shop in their store as a pop-up experience. And then what we're going to do once those brides come in, she's going to give them, her whole spiel. She's going to have a table there, and she's going to put them in their email list by giving them something that they want. So it could be for a new bride, it could be, get a taste box, to ask your friends to be your bridesmaid, or it could be like, here's a checklist for 10 things that if you are a new bride, what you need to know, right? We're going to do that, and hopefully we have at least 5 different salons that she can go to and have a consistent pop-up experience, right? So I want you all to think about that for your business. Not every single thing needs to be a post, because I guarantee you that conversion rate is longer, right? And or not everything just needs to be a nice photo of the cake. You need to actually have people experience your brand. That's what I'm all about. Brand field activation, activating your brand. All right. So again, this marketing roadmap is your ability to take a step back, think about what are major holidays, what are some things that you want to create on your own. In February, I have a whole campaign called Fall in Love with Marketing Again. And I just created that myself, right? So you don't always have to go off of major holidays and things like that. Any other questions on this particular slide? All right. Now, going back into the measuring piece, this is a really simple example, but once I define, say I wanted to do that digital download, right, in Q1 and Q2, I now wanted to define, how do I actually know if it's working or not? So for January, I want 10 downloads. February, I want 20. March, I want 30, and then I just kind of consistently keep going up as, I get those downloads coming in. But this also should, as a business owner, you should also realize, say for instance, by March, I don't get up to 30. I now need to go and take a step back and say, hey, am I actually talking to my right audience? Am I actually where they are, right? But I know my audience actually is not on Instagram. Majority of my audience is actually on LinkedIn, because I'm working with more of the social media marketers and the event planners versus the actual founder that could just be scrolling on social media, right? So think about you all's business. If you are a cake designer, you are a bride, where do they usually go first? Most of the time, while you may say Instagram, right now it's TikTok and Pinterest. Those are the most highest platforms for things like that. So I want you all to take that into consideration. So making sure you actually set a success metric. That is the only way you know that it's working or not. And then again, if y'all want these templates, I have the customer experience funnel, which I just showed you all, the touch point funnel, which I didn't show you all. It actually breaks down, say if you are starting at Instagram, after they go to Instagram, what does your link in bio do for them? What does the actual landing page look like? And then once you have that landing page, what does the actual checkout look like? So I have a template for you all to map that out, as well as you get the business roadmap, and then you get a target audience one. You all didn't see that, but that'll also allow you to actually identify your target audience. All right. For those that have successful pre-sales, how? And even when I do start early and have a good product, I think I need a Fiverr helper. Can you expound on that, Allison? Was that a question or just a statement?
I feel like it's a bit of both because even when you were speaking, I mean, I was getting some points like of just trying to make sure that I guess I'm not just all over the place. I have a plan out. Like even for Valentine's, like yesterday, I posted some beautiful cakesicles. I just posted this video just kind of um get in front of people with a popular song reel and all the things, just putting it out there like, hey, instead of having the same old custom set that everybody has, you can get some, like an exquisite gourmet personalized set for your babe, something like that. So I don't know. I just feel like with pre-sales for me, they just suck.
So have you thought about um that may not necessarily be where you should place that offer? Have you tried something else, or are you consistently saying that same message over and over again?
Like using the same platform, like mostly for my business, I use Instagram. I put very little on TikTok, and then I'm like, oh, this is so much to keep up with because I have 2 Instagram pages and I have my YouTube, and I guess it's gonna come with me scheduling. Like I've been scheduling. Like this year, I wrote out what time I'm going to be on social media, what time I'm getting off because of the schooling. We're starting back up now in January is our time frame. Yet maybe that could be it. But I know you
Question,
mentioned
what is your business?
Tubs of Love 23.
Well, what do you sell?
Oh, I'm a gourmet treat maker and I specialize in custom gourmet sugar cookies for any type of events that meet your celebratory needs.
Beautiful.
One liner come through, one liner over there.
So, again, I would challenge you to, for 1 month, 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, say the exact same message over and over again, but test out the actual content. So whether it's a reel, test it out from an email perspective, test it out from a text message, utilize what you have. And I encourage you to literally say the exact same thing over and over again, because then at that moment, you'll be able to figure out what is your audience actually gravitating towards. Because, and I'm making this up because I don't know your analytics and your data, but are people necessarily searching on Instagram looking for cookies, or are they more going on like Yelp and Reddit and Google reviews to actually find where they want to get desserts and stuff from? Like your focus channel may need to be redirected. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Also, Allison, one thing, hold on, I lost my train of thought. One thing that I would do, you're promoting early. You said you started promoting now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So have you sent messages out to like everybody in your database, like your previous clients? When I do pre-sales, I don't necessarily get new orders. I get engagement from my previous clients. So I send them emails at least once a week because you got to think about it. These emails are going straight to spam. They're getting hundreds of emails a day. So marketing is not about just posting one time and hoping for the best or sending one email. It's really like you're going to feel like you're annoying them, but you're not, because the reality is they probably didn't even see it, or they saw it, but they forgot to come back to it. And so when I did my pre-sales last year for holiday, I typically will only sell 2 or 3 cakes because 1, I'd wait till the last minute. 2, I make the one post and that's it. This year I sold over 15 and 20 dessert cakes. And that was based on my email. I was emailing those people first twice a week, and then trickled down to once. And then I also sent text messages out to my whole network, friends, family, everybody got a text message.
Yep. I think that's a really good idea. I'm all about retention versus acquiring new ones because they cost more. So yeah. And that is it. Like I said, Ebony's going to give y'all the link. I'm getting the link now. I'll put it in the chat. And does anybody have any specific questions on their business? All right, I'm going to take that I did a good job.
Yes,
All right.
awesome, Amber. So y'all, I know this is very high level and we're going super fast, but I'm telling you, like when I meet with these girls, Jamie and Miss Donche are in here. I'll have meetings with them. This is how we actually like come up with stuff. And it's spitfire. Like we're throwing ideas back and forth. We're all in different industries and but we're on the same type of journey, right? And so we're giving you a high level view of kind of that thought process. So the replay will be available because you're probably gonna have to come back to this and listen to it again and again. You're gonna want to go through the guide because I'm telling y'all, like what she just dropped is some gems. And Amber, I know you're hooking my people up. How much is your guide?
It's just 10. So with the guide, you will get all those 5 templates with a walkthrough video of how to utilize it again. It's a little bit more in depth than obviously what we did here. And then you'll also get a 30-minute call with me to actually understand, all right, how do I apply this to my actual business? So
$10. That's awesome. Okay, cool. So
$10.
Opportunity. She's gonna drop the link and then I'll do a follow-up email at the end that will have the link too, so you can get that guide. All these resources are gonna flow together. I'm gonna just real quick and then I'm gonna pull Takia up. So the next part in the guide that I sent out is gonna be your annual marketing overview. So I'm gonna pull that up real quick. Okay, so I gave you 20, actually, okay, I didn't change this. I had 24 strategies and I went back and was like, let me give them 30 because I mean, I could go on and on with the number of strategies that I have. So ignore that because this, I gave you 30-day. We did a challenge last summer, 30-day marketing challenge. These are both direct and indirect marketing strategies, direct and indirect or digital indirect, meaning in person versus online. So they're all kind of mixed up in here. So when you go and use the sheet that Amber created, or you're creating your marketing campaign, so when you go over here to your annual marketing overview, you can come back to here because I know a lot of times it's like, okay, well, I want to do something marketing wise, but what do I do and where do I start? Just start here. Just start pulling things, right? So we have email marketing. We have a referral program. This is simple window decal with IG handle. I don't handwritten notes, so thank you campaign. The possibilities are endless. And so you're going to go ahead and plug those in. So this marketing overview, we broke it down by quarter. All right, can everybody see that good? I even went a step further and put in the holiday. Okay, we have Super Bowl coming up. For those of you treat makers and cake artists and things like that, how many of you are missing out? Like Q1 across the board is typically very slow, right? So this is a time where we will kind of pivot and try to bring in income from other revenue streams. So what I've done in the past for Super Bowl Sunday, which is February 11th this year, is I'll do a cupcake. I don't like saying sales or promotions because I don't really do that, but we'll say like a cupcake promo and it's a versus cupcake. So half of them will be in the colors of the one team, the other half will be in the colors of the other. And then I'll do an edible image topper. So let's just say go Cowboys for the sake of it, right? So Cowboys on one cupcake. And then, I don't know any other teams because Cowboys are only ones that matter. But let's say Seattle on the other. And so you got Cowboys versus Seattle. They have their Super Bowl party. And, people are going to choose from their team. People love when I run that promo. And I can't see y'all. I'm just going to assume that everybody just got so excited when I said go Cowboys. All right. So we have holidays. I went ahead and put those out for all the quarters. You may want to put your own. So like my birthday is January 17th, big 40 this year. So I'm going to run some type of promo on my birthday. That's something that I need to plan out, probably last month, and start creating the collateral around that. So here, for the sake of time, I'm not going to go in and type in. But let's just say for Q1 campaign. So Amber already told you about our wedding cake tour. We're doing that in Q1 because engagement season is ending on Valentine's. And now all the brides from November to February 14th are now in the market for looking for vendors for their wedding, right? So now I want to get in front of them. And what do most brides do first? They're going to look for their dress and their venue. So by us doing this wedding cake tour and setting up shop in the bridal salons, and feel free to use this because I don't gatekeep over here and there's enough money out for everybody. So if I set up shop inside the bridal, I'm getting right in front of the brides. I'm getting in front of them early enough because wedding season for spring starts at the end of April and goes until mid-June. And then the fall wedding season is going to be end of August to the middle of October. So then I'm going to run that campaign again. So you're going to write your campaigns in here. Again, all this is just brainstorming. You're going to go back and use the guide that Amber created to really dig deep and build those out. And one thing Amber told me the other day that was amazing that I didn't think of, I told her that I really don't like planning things out the way that she does because I'm just a executor, right? So I come up with the idea and I execute. It may be on time, it may not be on time. But imagine how much more successful I would be if I took the time to actually plan everything out from A to Z. And then her point was for next year, when I run this back again, I don't have to create this from new. Everything is already laid out. That's part of a CEO thinking. Does that make sense? Like CEOs are not doing work over and over and over again. Like we're going to set up the SOP, the standard operating procedure for each and everything in our business so that somebody else can go out and run it. And then you have the promotion field here. So where this is different than the campaign is I would put the Super Bowl cupcakes here, right? For my birthday, I might do a vintage heart sale and have it heavily discounted. So that's just going to be a quick little promo. So those are things that you can throw in there to fill that up. And again, you're going to go back to the resource that Amber had. Now, Takia is coming to the floor and she's going to get y'all social media life together, okay? Because at the end of the day, as much as we all hate social media, we spend an ungodly amount of time on social media. So we know that's where people are, right? However, you got to find a balance. Social media, like I said, is not your primary marketing. If you don't have thousands and thousands of followers, your conversion is not going to be like the influencers. And I know the influencers like to say, you know, I made $5,000 off of digital products. Well, they have thousands and thousands of followers, so that's easier for them to do that. All of us may not get to that point. So it's super important for you all to learn how to leverage your social media to nurture your audience. I talk a lot in my stories. That's where I nurture my audience at. I give them behind the scenes. And then I do reels. So Takia, you can come to the floor, boo, and introduce yourself.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. I know we are a little bit over time, so if anybody's pressed, I wanted to try to go quickly, but also be intentional. So my question, and if you guys can throw it in the chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, what are your just overall feelings about social media? Like 1 being I hate it, 10 being I love it. Okay, so that's my first question. And I will just call it out. Okay, we have 5, 4, 0. Oh my God.
Also, Takia, real quick, I did not tell them how long this was going to be, so we are pretty good. I was just trying to keep it to an hour, you know, because people trying to be on here all night.
0, 0, 0. Okay, sorry, they shocking me. I didn't expect zeros. It's a thin line. Okay, so my next question, and this is probably already, I can suspect the people with a 0 what they're gonna say. But in terms of actual, like how active you are on social media, 0 being you do not post, you will not post for 12 months, to 10 being you post consistently, which means that you can post at any rate, it's just consistent and you can be consistent. So 0 to 6 on how productive you are, how consistent you are on social media. Okay, I see 3s, I see 4s, I see 5s. Okay. Consistent for a month. Okay, got you. -4. Okay. Okay, so basically, my name is Takia Lamb. I run a digital, I'm so sorry. I am about to redo that. My name is Takia Lamb. I run TK Consulting and Design, and we are a creative design agency. We do a lot of branding, graphic design, photography, web design, and we also do digital marketing. Digital marketing falls in line with what we do because we do a lot of content creation, and then we have built out a scheduler so that we can actually build that content out for other people and schedule it. So that's why we're here. So one of the problems that I've seen, one of the most consistent problems is that people can't be consistent on social media. That is a problem for small business owners because you are the marketer, you take out the trash, you bake the cookies, you you build the website, you do everything. And I understand because me too. But with social media, because you have to be consistent and you have to be constantly communicating, that's why I'm coming at the end to talk about like how you create systems for consistency. So I will give my disclaimer before I go into some of the tools that I have developed that I want to walk you through. And I think my disclaimer for digital marketing, and I think it was mentioned before, is marketing is this vast thing that has a lot of different channels that you can use to promote your business. You can do word of mouth, you can do, what are they called? I can't even think of what they're called. Bulletins, you can do in-person marketing, you can do experiential marketing, you can do digital marketing through email, social media, and then all the different platforms. So that is overwhelming. Most people are overwhelmed by the different channels that you can go through. I'm trying to make it less overwhelming. And the way that I do that is, one, I cross-post across channels. Two, I schedule all content 30 days out. And so I'm going to show you guys how we schedule content 30 days out. And to be honest, in 2024, we're about to up that a little bit, and we're about to start moving to 60 days out for clients, because honestly, 30 days out is that's it's still real thin. You can still get caught up in 30 days. So I'm about to share our social media planner. And we're just going to talk about like what it looks like to actually take what Amber and what Ebony were talking about and actually put it into a tool that you can actually translate to social media. Okay. So a lot of what they talked about, there's different tools to kind of figure out exactly what you want to do. I have developed a content strategy planner that we use with our different clients, where you can kind of pull all that information into one place. You don't have to use it like that, but the idea is that it's easier to just go into this tool and you can actually just interact with one document. So we talk about the goals, which they mentioned. I think Amber made that distinction between you have your business goals and you have your marketing goals, and then you can have goals for social media. So you can have goals in different ways that you want to use each social media platform, because each social media platform can be different for you. Another thing that we talk a lot about with our clients is like, hey, if you are talking to a certain crowd and you're over on TikTok doing dances, that may not speak to your audience. That's something that you need to work through with your marketing strategy, with understanding your audience and understanding your engagement. If you are on email, which email has a higher ROI, which I always try to mention when I talk about social media than most platforms, then do emails really well. If you're on Instagram, do Instagram really well. You can translate that information to LinkedIn, Twitter. Well, I'm sorry, we're not messing with Twitter no more, but Facebook. You can translate that information to these different platforms, but the idea is to make it easier for yourself. And so, like I said, we're putting it in one place. You can plan out your days. I don't post every day. I understand that they used to say you post every day. It's not necessary. Most people get so overwhelmed by posting every day that they don't post at all. So I recommend at least posting three posts a week. And if you can do that consistently enough, then what you will find is that you will most likely start to post a little bit more, because it will be less stressful for you. So here we put in our different days of the week. You can do, I think they had different themes that they did, like Wellness Wednesdays, Women Crush Wednesdays, Flashback Fridays, whatever you decide. You make your own thing up, and as long as people know that you can like revert back to these themes, it'll help you plan your calendar. So other things that we have is like topics. So like you can decide like what you feel like, what topic you want to talk about in a specific way. I think Amber mentioned that it doesn't have to be this detailed. And to be honest, I won't go into this much detail on most cases, but it is an option. And then also, we also just have a collection of resources. If you like inspirational quotes, if you like recipes, you don't want to have to go type those things in every time you go to plan your calendar. And so what you do is you put your links in one spot, you click the link when you're planning your calendar. So now we're going to go into just like month to month. So this planner is already prepared for 2024. So that means that every single month is already specced out exactly like this. Every single holiday that we acknowledged is in this, but you can add your own holidays. And then we kind of give you topics and trends so that you can be aware every month of how you can actually take your organizational goals and you can put them into a month by month, like, hey, what am I going to talk about this month that's going to help me get closer to my goal? So we have days of the week, we have the date, which is all planned out, like I said, from now until the end of the year. Status is if you're using a scheduler, you can manage whether you actually schedule or not. That helps me when I'm planning for clients. We have our theme. So let's say Amber's like, or Ebony is doing her cake tour. She could say, hey, my cake tour, I'm going to post about that on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, I'm going to show images of past work. On Thursdays, I'm going to do testimonials. And she could take that and she can run that back every week. Just copy paste, run that back every week. So now what you did is you made your planning into, I just need 4 testimonials. I just need 4 pictures, and I just need 4 content pillars to talk about the cake tour, right? So now you can go into, is this going to be a reel? Is it going to be an image? Is it going to be a text graphic? This is something for the visual people. If this is overwhelming, skip over that, jump to the visual description, and you could type out like, hey, what do you want to say in the post? Like, I want to say sale. Okay, what is the sale? Hey, y'all, we have blah, 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 blah. You type it out, that's your caption. Hashtags. Hashtags, I pretty much copy and paste them. So you can copy and paste them down, change a few hashtags based on what the post is. You can modify these posts for Twitter. You can modify them for, again, you know, whatever, however you feel. You can modify it for Facebook, LinkedIn, and you can also add notes. So say you're collaborating with somebody, you have a team member that helps, you can add thoughts, they can come in and they can actually help you plan your content. You can approve through this thing. So it's basically a spreadsheet that just kind of helps you process through that information, but in a way that you can take this, you copy it, you put it into your scheduler, you put it into social media, and you actually do the post. This is all the verbiage around it. So then the second step would be that you would actually pull the content, design it. You can also add links. So if you have Canva and you create something, you can add your links here so that you can link back to the post. You can download it, however you interact with your social media. Let me see if we have any questions about planning, because I'm kind of
Takia, do you have one that's already filled out?
I do.
Okay.
I do. And I'm sorry, I cut you off. I just assumed you were talking about the same thing I was talking about, but what was you talking about?
Yes, we're always on the same page. You're good.
Great. Okay, so I do have one that's fully finished, and I will also show you what a grid looks like that's completed. And so this is an example of a school that is going to start open enrollment this month. And so their post is 3 times a week, even though it gets a little exciting in the 3rd week. But basically what we have is we have all of their posts are spelled out, like, what is this actually supposed to be? Is it a carousel? Here's what the post should actually say on the graphic. And then here's the caption. Here are the hashtags. And it goes, we don't typically do like a variation because we can do that in scheduling. So that's not super necessary for us, but sometimes clients want to see like if it has a link or something like that. And so we have that plotted out through the end of the year. And then I will show you what the actual grid looks like as well, just so that you guys can kind of see how that looks like in once you take that into a visual. And let me pull it up from the client. Sorry, that wasn't prepared. But any questions on like just content planning from this perspective? Like, does it make sense? Do you have questions about like how to navigate the tool? Yes. No. You guys are all just looking like,
This
no.
is y'all's time to ask, did it make sense or was that too much?
Oh, yeah, no, it makes sense.
Okay.
So how do you get the tool is the question.
Yes. So I do have a link for the tool that I can drop in the comments. And then we also have some additional courses that we're going to pull out just to help people plan better. Just because our services done for you obviously is going to be more expensive, but if we can teach you guys how to maintain your content and organize your content in a way that's comfortable for you until you get to the point where you can hire somebody, then that works too. But at the end of the day, consistency and visibility. So social media, as much as we like are annoyed by it, we give it triple zeros and all that stuff. Social media is free access to your client. Like, it's literally direct access to your client, and it's direct access to clients that you do not know. And I think that's the power of social media. A lot of other things you couldn't track whether you were going to get any engagement from putting a bulletin board somewhere, putting a flyer somewhere. Like, social media gives you that ability to go find the people that you're actually looking for. That the thing is, do you know who they are? Do you know how to talk to them? And then can you track that engagement over time? Like, okay, this post worked, but this post didn't work. How can we adjust this post content? Does it need to be a reel? Are people interacting with reels better? And then kind of plan like more strategically versus like, I think most people just like, I need to post. You try to figure out the post all day, you do the post, and then you're so exhausted from that process, you don't post for another 6 weeks because it's just too much stress. And okay, I'm sorry, I'm trying to peek in the comments a little bit too. I see the LinkedIn comment. We do help some people manage their LinkedIn because LinkedIn can be a better tool for finding buyers, people that are ready to like pay for your stuff. And I see the links. Okay.
Let me add about LinkedIn.
Yep.
You only need to be linked on LinkedIn if that's your target market. So if you're trying to get into corporate clients, then LinkedIn is where you need to be. You should narrow down your social media to where your ideal clients are. So for me with the weddings, it's Pinterest and Instagram. And then if I wanted to push the corporate side, so like I do branded cookies and cupcakes and treats and things like that, dessert tables for corporations, then that's where LinkedIn will be. I have not jumped into LinkedIn. Again, it's been some years, but they've made some amazing updates and their ads are super cheap right now.
Yeah. And LinkedIn, again, I would say if we had a conversation about what you actually sell, it's going to vary based on what you're selling and who you're selling to. So this is just an example of that grid. The content that I showed you, this is how the grid actually translates. So like the first one is a carousel. So you can kind of see there's 1, 2, 3 posts. Then you have a picture. So you can kind of follow along that visually. Once you have the words there, then you create the visuals. I put it in a folder, schedule it, move on to the next month. I'm not sitting there going back and forth. Like, we're going to move on to February. We're going to see how January does, which the last thing I will say in terms of managing your social media, this process is really good for actually tracking whether your social media content is successful or not. What people do is they don't get posts, or I've talked to Ebony about this too. Like, you say you have 100 people on social media that are following you. Your engagement rate should be between 5 and 10%. 10% would be amazing. 5% would be average, which means that you should only get 1 post, 1 like, right? So if you get 2 likes, you're killing it. You get 5 likes, you're doing really great. Like, your engagement rate is based off of how many people are actually following you, and then how many of those people that are following you are actually liking your stuff. Those things are really important to know as you grow and you evolve your social media brand, because you might be like, hey, I got 1 like. If you got 1 like I said, and 100 followers, you're doing great. If you have 100,000 followers and you get 1 like, that's terrible. That's not good at all. Like, it is expected that if you have a certain amount of followers, you should be having a certain amount of engagement, because that is how the algorithm works. So understanding the algorithm, understanding your audience can all make your marketing experience online a lot better. So this is just an example of what that grid looks like, kind of designed out. Someone asked if we have trainings. We do have trainings. We're starting to roll out actual like trainings that you can take yourself, but then I also do trainings for people as well. So, but I will drop the link. And then any additional questions before I hand it back over to
And how much are you hooking my people up with this link, Bo?
I do have one quick question in regards to the training or for anybody on this session regarding using ads on social media, like how to effectively do that, because I know there is a process. You don't just go in there and give your money and be like, oh, hope for the best. There is a strategy to it. So
yes, so I love that question. So we design ads and we create copy for ads, but we don't actually do the back end ad setup. So I worked with this woman, which I can send the information to Ebony. And what she did was she did a CEO training, which basically looked like her going through the back end with me on Zoom, showing me how to set up my ads and how to optimize my ads. And she also showed me how to maintain my ads. So she used what my organic engagement was online, and she used those people and created copies of those people, like their type, and then pushed them out through the ads. So then after she did that, I pushed out ads. The ads are amazing. I've gotten leads. I've gotten a lot of engagement. The thing is, people are pushing out ads. And again, understanding your audience and just understanding how to set up, also being able to leverage your actual organic engagement helps your ads perform better. So I can definitely give you that resource as well, because I have already said, like, if I'm going to help anybody do ads, I'm going to have her set it up first. So.
All right. Thank you, Takia.
You're welcome.
Y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all, I know this information is so dope, okay? I'm telling you, like the ladies that are in this room, I am always on calls with them. I have a standing Zoom link that my people have access to. And we just jump in there and then we start brainstorming and working. Being an entrepreneur, you cannot do this by yourself. And so if you are looking for community, I told you all that is like my second word for the year, my mission. I would like to invite you to my community is called the Flourish Collective. Last year was our first year. We kept it super small, and the wins that those ladies did in there, it doesn't have to be just for ladies. That's just who we attracted. Women of different businesses from all over the country. It was just amazing to be able to meet and talk through what the challenges are. We bounce ideas. So if you kind of like this conversation and how we're sharing resources and giving you high level overviews on how to implement things in your business, then the Flourish Collective is for you. Last year was $47. I dropped the price down to $24.99. That link is in your guide, but I will also, in the follow-up email that has the replay, you'll get a link that we have not had a session since November. We wanted everybody to get through the holiday season, and we're about to crank back up in February. So kind of call this, the first implementation of that. If you are looking for community, I would love to have you. I'm changing it up a little bit this year. We're going to meet once a month. It'll be on Tuesday evenings at this time around 7, and it normally runs for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. I will have something that we're actually going to work on. Like, I will teach you something, but I'm telling you right now, right? The first quarter, we're only talking about marketing, because if you're not making money and you don't know how to bring the money in, you don't know how to retain the money, it's no point in talking about anything else. Last year, we kind of talked about all things business, and that's cool, and we'll get to it, but not knowing what this economy is going to do this year, not knowing what inflation is going to do, not knowing what the election is going to do and have impacts on our companies, we have to get ahead of it, and we need to have plans in place to bring revenue in. So the first quarter, that's what we'll be focusing on. So that'll be on one Tuesday a month at 7 p.m. And then we'll do an office hour in the middle of the day, like at 11 or 12, one time a month too. And that will just be for an hour, so you can answer any or ask any questions you have to troubleshoot. But I want to first thank Takia and Amber for coming on and sharing. They did not have to do that, but they did out of the kindness of their hearts, and I appreciate y'all. I want to open the floor up for questions. And I will say, to piggyback off of Takia, the bottleneck that I have with implementing her resource is content. And if Paul, if you're still on here, because I don't have my gallery view up, you may be able to help.
I'm still here.
Okay, so I always ask my photographer friends, like, how do y'all organize your content? So a lot of us, like, that's where the bottleneck is, because we're constantly taking pictures. And then when it's time to sit down to do the content, yes, I can plan it out all nicely with what Takia has, and I'm super excited. But now I got to go pull the content, and I have 40,000 videos and pictures that I have to sort through. And I will say the other thing too is, like, I've already posted a video or a clip or a picture, so I don't want to use it again. But y'all have to remember, ain't nobody remembering the stuff that y'all are posting. And so that repetition is what's going to stick in people's minds. So if I keep posting the same wedding cake over and over again, they're going to associate that with my brand. And then when it comes time for them to have a wedding, or somebody that they know that's getting married, they're going to think about that wedding cake that they keep seeing, like, oh my gosh, no, you need to call Virginia Marie, because look at this cake that she did here. And it could be in 4 different reels. But Paul, how do you organize, like, all of the content that you have?
I don't know if I'm the one to answer that question, because my own content is not organized. The most organized I have is everything's in a folder with a date. So in my mind, I know I did such and such in December. So let me go back to my December folders and look for that. Typically I'll have the title of whatever it is. If it was the Effect Fitness Gala event, with the date. So if I know where I want my content from, where I want the content from, then I'll go look for, and sometimes it's years. So it's like, oh, what was that event? Oh, that was the Atlanta Track Club. And maybe I don't know the date anymore. So then I just have to look for the whole Atlanta Track Club from 21 until I find what it is I'm looking for. But typically I put stuff in folders with the date. And so if I'm giving you, like, for you, it doesn't really help you, because I'll title it Virginia Marie because you're my client, and then the date. And if I do see that it's a cake class, I might put cake class at the end. So if you know you're looking for cake class content, if you go into the Dropbox and type in cake class, the folders that I titled cake class, they'll come up, and you can kind of go that route. Again, I'm not the best person to really answer that, but that's how I do it. And keyword searches are really, really helpful.
No, that's helpful, because when I am looking for content, I start, and everybody, this is my photographer, Paul McPherson Photography. When I'm looking for content, I just go straight for your folders, because yours the only ones that really have names to them. So then I can know, like, if I'm going to post something about cake and cocktails and you've shot that event, I'm just going to go to that folder and start there first. But then I also know I shoot a lot of content between my iPhone and my Android. And Takia, I know you and I have spoken about this before, and I think your method is very similar to Paul's, but you're even more detailed about how you do that.
I'm sorry. Before you get into that, I did a couple of years ago make the realization, and I imagine you can do this on other phones. I'm an iPhone user, but I'm just going to show you my personal phone real quick. But you have the ability to, where's the camera there? You have the ability to make folders. So if you make folders, you got to take time to do it. But if you make folders, it'll be easier for you to put, like, if I'm going to go look at my work, or I think this is my face project, now I can go to just the face project photos that I've put in there already. So you can do that with content on your phone. The one thing about that is it is time consuming. It will take you a long time. You'll be just scrolling in your phone, looking like you're not doing anything, but you are. And so you can do that. And I think once you've done it, once you spent the long time consuming part of it in organizing, once you bring in new content on your phone, you can automatically select these 4 new images that you just downloaded and put it into your logo folder, or to your cakes, or to, I saw someone's education consultant or whatever. So put it into those separate folders that you guys have on your phones to make it easier for you to pull up stuff on your phone mobily.
Yeah, that would, it's going to take time, like you said, but I think that is very helpful. Just being able to sort it, because then when it comes time to create the content, it will already be there. Thank you. Takia, did you want to add
Oh, sorry.
Paul
It
McPherson?
just, it just keeps coming. It just keeps coming. Also in your phone, if you, it's this is not a fail safe. I mean, this is not a catch-all.
Androids
And
can.
sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But if you go into your phone, at the bottom, it's got a thing that says search. So if you click on search, right? And I'm gonna be like, oh, what is it I'm looking for? Oh, I'm looking for that car photo that I did. So I type in car. It will pull up photos that you have in your phone of cars.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah, yeah. So like you, if you type in cake, let me type in cake. I bet you it pulls up your cakes.
It better only be my cakes in there.
Well, or the sample images of the cakes that I sent you. But
yes, Android
yeah.
can do that for all y'all iPhone haters, okay?
So that helps as well. Like, oh, what was that? If you were looking for people, well, I'm a photographer, so I photograph people. Your phone automatically has this facial recognition. So if you tell it, hey, this is Tanya, it'll go through your phone and say, find all the photos of Tanya and put it in a Tanya folder. If you say this is Ebony or whatever, you know, it just makes, if you start utilizing these functions on your phones that are just easy, it works, and it helps. So I started by saying, I don't know what to tell you. And then I keep butting in and saying, oh, what about this? And, oh, there's that. So.
No, that was very helpful. Thank you. Because that's the whole thing. Like, how can we sort of get it from our phone into somewhere tangible so we can actually use it instead of it piling up? So thank you for that. That's all that we have for tonight. Thank you all so much for showing up. I'm going to open the floor for Q&A. Amber has her hand raised. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, real quick, I just wanted to, because I do this a lot. If you don't know what you want to post for your audience, I save a lot of other people's posts that I enjoy, and I just recreate it. Literally go on Canva and recreate their, you know, it won't be the colors, even my brand colors, and changing the title and whatnot. So that also saves a ton of time if you don't have content ideas. So put those in your folder.
That's great. Thank you. So everybody drop your Instagram link. Again, we're building community and help each other grow your numbers. But let's open the floor for Q&A. Like, okay, let's chat. So come off mute. Let me know what y'all thought about this. I kind of saw your comments going through, and we're going to wrap this up in like 4 minutes. So how do you feel about it? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel like you can go back, sit down, and go through the guides and get set up for the year? Are there any questions? Now is the time to ask, because you have all three of us here in the room.
I just had a quick question for Takia. For your thing, the planner that we download, is it an additional cost for you to walk us through that? It was a little overwhelming for me, so I would love to walk through that. And how do I do that?
There's 2 ways. I have a course that you can do that's video, or we can schedule a walkthrough, so a consultation where we can actually break down just one-on-one, which might be more, you know, then you can ask any questions that you'd want to ask. So I can send a consultation link so we can talk through what might be the best option for that. And that will probably be where we start.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a question for Amber. How do we schedule the consultation with you?
Yep, you're going to receive an automatic email in a second.
Ooh,
Yep.
how do you do that? Okay,
Huh?
let's talk offline. Never mind.
And for anybody, I was just gonna loop back really quickly to the photo thing. All those tips were awesome. Androids and iPhones basically have the same features with folders and all that stuff, but if you have one of each like I do, I have all of my photos upload to the Google Pictures, so that whether I take a picture on my iPhone or my Android, I don't have to go back and forth. It's all in the cloud. And that Google Photos has the folders and the search capabilities all the same. So you can download them, and you can drag it right into Canva And Canva helps you make reels and all that stuff. It has all of those features in it as well for anybody who needs help with those things.
Thank you. And Leah asked about making the guide editable. So I will that's my stomach growling too. Okay, so I will go. It's in Canva, so I just need to go in and give y'all access. I didn't think about that because I write stuff on paper all the time, but I forget some people are digital and you like to put it in, so that will also be in the email. Look, the babysitter, I told them 8:30, and so y'all probably not gonna get the email tonight. It's probably gonna be sometime tomorrow. It will be sometime tomorrow. It's 2024. We're gonna do better. So you'll have all the links so that you can get the other resources, an invitation to our community. Thank you all so much for showing up. You should be so proud of yourself. The fact that you showed up today means that you want something better and bigger for yourself and for your business. And there's no better place to do that than with like-minded people. All right. So the next step, because I don't want you to be hype and have all this information and it's like, okay, what now? Like your next step is to go ahead, download the guides and start filling those out. Like I said, Q1 for most people is pretty slow. So you have time to sit down and plan this out so that when spring comes, when refund checks hit, and people are back out, the sun is back out shining and people are out spending money, you are set up to receive all of the blessings. And if you don't mind, I'm going to end this in a quick little prayer. So y'all can bow your heads or close your eyes, however you want. But Father God, I come before you right now. Just thank you so much for this community that you have brought together. God, I thank you for the brilliant minds that are here, the wisdom that was imparted. I pray blessings and peace upon every entrepreneur in this room. God, I know that business has been super hard for a lot of people. Some people are in their winning season, and I want you to continue to give them the momentum to keep going. But for those who have had a lot of challenges, God, I ask for peace upon them, God. God, give them clarity as they move forward in 2024. May everything that they do be in alignment with what you have for them. And everything that they touch, God, if it is for them, it will be for them. Thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for giving me this idea. We love you. We honor you. And that is all. Thank you all so much. And you all have a great, amazing night. And I'll see y'all on Instagram and my stories because that's where I'll be at. Bye.